Now, y'all know we done switched it up a little bit. And the reason I'm doing it this way now, and like doing reaction videos, not only am I, starting to put the videos on YouTube, but the main reason is the amount of people that jump in my comments or DM me talking about, yeah, man, these buildings was built. I real deal got a guy who actually believed the Empire State Building was built in 1 year. It don't matter what I tell this man, how many videos I send him, he believed that the Empire was built in 1 year. So I was like, okay, I just started showing modern day, disasters and collapses and explosions, just to show people engineering is not easy, okay? Building something is not easy, okay? I don't care how easy they make it look, it's not easy, okay? So we're gonna be taking a look at a walkway bridge that collapsed in Florida, okay? And this was just a bridge that you walk over, okay? And this was recently, all right? So let's take a look at this.
Oh my God! There's 2 cars under there! In only seconds, a beautiful Miami day goes up in smoke when a pedestrian bridge collapses. So on the left of your screens, you're looking at the bridge just 90 minutes before that collapse. And you can see construction crews are still working.
And then on the right side, the search for any sign of life underneath that rubble. So we have just learned that the count is now at 6 confirmed to be dead. Another 10 were taken to the hospital.
Now, this bridge was what they call accelerated bridge construction, okay? This bridge be put up in a matter of no time for pedestrians to walk over, okay? Now, get this. Before this bridge collapsed, they was giving this company high praises on, just how good they did, what kind of job they did and all that. But once that bridge collapsed, they went to doing some digging, okay? Now, like I said, at the end of this video, I have questions, okay? Because I know for a fact, if Johnson Marine made just a minor mistake, I'm gonna be plastered all over the news after the first mistake, okay? These companies be getting 2 and 3 chances before something bad happens and they realize, oh, well, we got somebody that probably don't know what they doing, okay? But let's keep jumping into it.
Just last Saturday, literally days ago, the bridge was lowered into place, and FIU praised everyone involved with this new method of construction and engineering, which they said reduced risk to workers and commuters and limited traffic disruption.
Their press release called the project an outstanding example of what's called accelerated bridge construction, and they specifically singled out the contractors. Tonight, we're learning more about those contractors and their troubles. Let's go back live now to the scene. Silva Harapetian has more on this part of the story for us. Silva.
Well, we have learned a lot about this project. We've learned that FIU was entirely responsible for this project, which means the university was responsible for reviewing plans, permits, and inspections. And of course, we have learned a lot about the companies who were hired to build this bridge. It was a moment of celebration this past Saturday for Florida International University when the pedestrian bridge was put in place. The university's own time-lapse video shows.
This is a dream come true for our university.
The design of the bridge is supposed to last 100 years and be able to withstand a Category 5 hurricane.
We built this facility off-site on the FIU campus, and on Friday morning we closed 8th Street, and there was no bridge, and on Monday morning the bridge will be in place.
At 174 feet long and 950 tons, the main span of the bridge was lifted from its temporary supports, rotated 90 degrees across 8 lanes of highway, the largest pedestrian bridge moved this way in U.S. history.
Now, this is where my problem be coming in with situations like that, okay? Now, before that bridge collapsed, they gave them all the high praises in the world, okay? Now, once the bridge collapsed, that's when they went to digging and finding out that this company, a bridge that I used to stay like 15 minutes from, all right, it's in Chesapeake, Virginia. I used to stay by this bridge, okay? This bridge is massive. These folks dropped, this company, they screwed up on that project. Dropped so many tons of concrete down in the river, okay? They screwed up on this project, but that same company was still able to go all the way down to Miami and, construct this bridge. And like I said, they was giving them high praises, 30 minutes before that bridge fell on top of cars and people, okay? And like I keep telling people, this is just a walking bridge, a walkway bridge, okay? This ain't nothing spectacular that they built, okay? This ain't no spectacular project. And it fell within days of them putting it up. And it was built to last 100 years. 100 years, and it didn't even last a week, I don't believe. But it just always tripped me out how would they even made it that far? Why, like I keep saying, if that was Johnson Marine had did that, man, let me tell you something. Y'all wouldn't know me from TikTok and YouTube. Y'all will know me from seeing me on CNN and about to probably get 50 years in somebody's federal penitentiary for negligence homicide. All right, but let's just keep listening and see what they say.
Support for it.
Manila Construction Management partnered with the FIG Bridge Group.
The conditions are very controlled.
MCM's president, George Manila, was full of pride on Saturday about the quick installation of the span. But just 10 days ago, the company was sued in Miami-Dade civil court by a TSA employee hurt at Fort Lauderdale Airport. The employee's lawyer alleges a makeshift bridge MCM built for workers to use while the company does construction at the airport broke under his weight. As for FIG Bridge Group, the engineering company in this case, in 2003, it was sued by the Delaware Department of Transportation over alleged faulty engineering. The suit was settled for more than $5 million. And in 2012, a 90-ton portion of a bridge the company was assembling in Virginia fell apart while under construction. The Virginia pilot reports 4 workers were hurt and that state regulators fined FIG $28,000 for safety violations, saying it was, quote, pure luck no one was killed. FIG Bridge Group issued a statement saying, in part, quote, in our 40-year history, nothing like this has ever happened before. Our entire team mourns the loss of life and injuries associated with this devastating tragedy. MCM also issuing a statement reading in part, quote, MCM is a family business and we are all devastated and doing everything we can to assist. And both companies have said that they are cooperating with authorities and this investigation. I'm Silva Harapeti, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Now, I'm gonna keep it all the way up band with y'all. I don't understand how they was rewarded that project in the first place, okay? That bridge that they was building, like I said, the one that's like 5 minutes away from where I used to stay in Virginia, they dropped 90 tons of that bridge and hurt 4 people. And how somebody didn't lose, was unalive, I never understand, okay? But just peep game, before this project started, they was getting high praises. Now, the moral of the story, these people can't even build a walkway bridge, a bridge that you could walk over without it collapsing. And we expected to believe that in the 1800s, early 1900s, and like I said, even in the 1930s, that they was going down there building the Hoover Dam. They told us they built that in 6 years. Then, let's not forget about the Empire State Building. We was told that was built in 1 year, okay? But these people can't even build a simple walkway bridge without it collapsing, okay? Engineering is not easy. Building things is not easy, okay? You don't just show up and build stuff, all right? It goes through planning, and like I said, first you got the architects, then you got the engineers, then you got the builders, and then you got inspectors. You got all kind of parts that go into building a project. And these folks, they hurt somebody on the ground. He stepped on the board and hurt himself, you know. But I remember when that happened, and I don't know if they still got these sites up, but they used to have sites. I don't know if y'all are old, a lot of y'all might not be old enough to remember, but we used to have this website called riding.com back in the late 90s. And they used to put some of the most horrific photos on there, okay? Well, when this happened, one of those, you know, black sites like that, they actually uploaded the photos of some of the people that was, you know, squashed in their car. Just think about this. People was riding up under that bridge, you know, thinking about tomorrow, and that multi-ton bridge fell and landed on their cars, okay? You know, so, but, you know, like I said, that was just a simple bridge, a walkway bridge that you walk over, okay? And it collapsed. And history got a lot of people believing that men got on horse and buggies with hammer and chisel and went and built these massive structures for a courthouse, for a library, for a city hall. Just look at some of the names of some of the stuff that they said these buildings was, and look at your buildings today. Look at your town city hall today, and look at a city hall back in the 1900s, okay? Go look at some of those structures and look what they telling you they was, all right? Libraries and things like that. And these be like if you go to, I'm telling you, if you go to like somewhere like Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia, man, them buildings rent almost entire city blocks. Like entire city blocks, some of those buildings. You be walking down the road, you be like, yo, man, it's still the same building, okay? And, you know, we being told that this stuff is built in, you know, short periods of times in the cowboy and Indian days. A lot of this stuff they telling us that they built when John Wayne and Clint Eastwood characters was riding around back in the day. They telling us that this stuff was built. And let's not forget, we still haven't found a wooden sailboat yet. Right? I'm still looking for that. If anybody can find me a legit photo of a wooden sailboat in the 1800s sailing across the seas, I'll stop asking for that. But until then, that the sailboats is just like those buildings. I don't believe it. Can't nobody make me believe it. All right? But anyway, y'all jump in the comments and let me know.